In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the rear brake hose on this Ram 2500. Connect your brake line to your rear caliper, so let's get started. Let's remove the wheel. Use a 21mm socket and remove all 8 lug nuts and then pull the wheel off. With the wheel off, you can see the brake hose right here. I'm going to use these special pliers that'll crimp down on it. I'm not going to pinch the new one, but I will pinch the old one to restrict the flow of brake fluid while we do our job. And what I'm going to do is remove the caliper side first, install the new one so that when I get to the line, all I have to do is swap them really quick and lose the least amount of brake fluid. I also have a collection bucket underneath because as soon as we take this banjo bolt off, which is going to be the next step, fluid will start leaking. Use a 15mm socket and break this free and remove it. Pull the banjo bolt out. Inspect your banjo bolt, make sure it's in good condition. Mine is reusable. If yours is not, replace it. Remove this copper washer that was stuck on it. You don't want to double gasket that where you are going to install new copper washers. And next, we're going to have to remove the brake hose off of the caliper. If it's stuck, give it a light tap with a hammer. Now the copper washer is not stuck on the caliper, which is great. It's actually stuck on the back of the hose, so I'm just going to leave it there since that's getting discarded. Inspect the condition of the mounting surface of this. There's still clean metal there, so that's perfect. It's going to seal up. If it's all corroded and rusted, that's not going to seal up and it will cause a leak. Take a new copper washer, put it over the banjo bolt, just like that. Take the new hose, and with this cutout facing out, not in, put the banjo bolt through the hole, a new copper washer on the other side of the hose, sandwich the hose in between the two copper washers basically. And just like I said, I'm going to install this and have it ready to go for when we remove and replace the other end. If this doesn't thread on smoothly, that means it's cross-threading, so back it off and try again. Torque this to 20 foot-pounds. What you want to do is just squish those copper washers. That's going to create a nice tight seal for you. Follow the brake hose in. You'll see where it connects to the brake hose right on this bracket, which we do have to remove, but I'm not going to until this is broken free because it'll help us hold this in place. Use an 11mm flare nut wrench on the line side and use a 16mm to hold the hose in place. And now, try to break these two free. There we go. At this point, you want to make sure that the line isn't spinning with the fitting. As you can see right now, it is, which is not exactly what I want. Now I can spin the hose off because it's free on the other end, but I'm going to have to break this fitting free once the hose is off in order to get it to spin on the new hose. Okay, I'm working it back and forth, and it is freeing up, which is great. I can continue by just unthreading the fitting off of the hose. Before I pull this off completely, I'm going to remove this bracket off of the differential so that I don't lose too much fluid. Use a 13mm socket and remove this bolt. And that's what a lot of times happens. Let's finish removing the hose off of the line. There's the hose. The line is leaking currently, so let's get the new hose ready to go. Line it up and spin the fitting to get it started on the threads. Just keep in mind, you want to make sure you don't cross-thread anything. So as you thread this in, make sure it's going smoothly. If it isn't, it's likely cross-threading, so stop, back it off, and try again. The new hose is also a 16mm, so you can hold it with that. Oh, that just bottomed out. So what I'm going to do now is give it about 1/8 to 1/4 turn. That's going to squish that fitting into the hose. And when you put this together, you want to make sure the hose isn't all twisted. Now for this bracket, of course, if you had the mounting bolt still, you would attach it. I'm going to drill a new hole and mount a different bolt in there in order to properly secure this. All right, so I cut a hole and put some grease on it, that way it doesn't corrode. It's resecured. Moving over to the caliper side again, let's pop the bleeder screw boot off of the bleeder screw so that we can open it up and let the air bleed out of the system. Use an 11mm wrench and open the bleeder screw. Of course, have a collection bucket underneath ready to catch the fluid, and like gravity, pull the fluid through and push the air out. Now this is called a gravity bleed. When you see a steady trickle of fluid coming out of here, close it off, and that should take care of the air that's in the system. Now if you're unhappy with how the pedal feels, or you think there's still air trapped in here, you're gonna have to do a full manual brake bleed, which you will see how to do at the end of the video. But for now, I'm gonna let the gravity bleed do its thing, and once that's done, we can continue. Looks like I have a nice steady trickle of fluid here, no air bubbles, so I'm gonna close this off, snug it, clean it off, of course, with some brake parts cleaner. And once you've dried it off and made sure there are no leaks, cap this off, and let's get the wheel on. Let's get the wheel back on. Put back all 8 of your lug nuts, snug them up in a cross pattern, and also in a cross pattern, we're going to torque these rear wheels to 150 foot-pounds. Once again, 150 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Double check them all. And there you have it, job is done. On the driver's side towards the firewall, you'll find the master cylinder reservoir. Let's remove that cap and remove the fluid that's in it. Typically, it says on the cap what type of brake fluid this takes. However, in our case, it says it right on the reservoir. Back here, this system takes .3 brake fluid. You want to make sure you have plenty on hand because this system takes quite a bit of brake fluid, so be prepared. Use whatever you have that'll remove this old fluid. I'm using a vacuum pump, but you can use a fluid transfer pump or a manual fluid extraction pump, whatever you have that'll get the fluid out of here. Now top off the master cylinder with some .3 brake fluid. I'm going to bring it all the way up to the max line, so fill it up, reinstall the cap. That way debris and moisture don't get in. The bleeding sequence on this truck starts at the right rear wheel, goes over to the left rear. Then you should top off the master cylinder after doing the 2 rears. You move on to the right front. That's the passenger side in the front. And then last caliper in this sequence is going to be the left front, the driver's side. Now it is recommended that you repeat the sequence twice, so top off the master cylinder and go around again. I have an assistant in the vehicle ready to pump up the brake pedal. They're going to pump a few times and then hold pressure. Then I'm going to crack the bleeder open. Before I do that, I'm going to remove this cap, and I have a little hose that I'm going to attach to it. That way I direct the brake fluid right into my collection receptacle. I'm going to use a 10mm wrench to break the bleeder screw free. They're holding pressure, and here we go. All right, go again. Okay, they're holding again, so I'm going to crack this open. And as soon as it reaches the floor, I'm going to close this and go ahead and pump again.
Hold it.
Okay, they're holding. I'm going to open this up. I'm not seeing any air bubbles. Let's do it one more time just to be safe. The fluid is also getting clearer, which means there's new brake fluid coming in from the master cylinder. You want to do this until you either have nice clean fluid or you see no more air bubbles, or both.
Hold it.
Okay. All right, close this off. You can let go now. I'm going to remove my hose. There we go. If you spilt any, go ahead and clean all this up.
use brake parts cleaner, and of course, once it's all dried up, you want to cap the bleeder screw off if you have the cap still, that way it doesn't get clogged up with debris. At this point, you're going to move over to the left rear, do the same procedure over there, and then of course top off that master cylinder to make sure it stays full. I topped off my master cylinder and I am now at the right front caliper. This is going to be our third one in our sequence. So same thing, assistance in the vehicle, ready to pump up the brake pedal. I'm going to stick my hose on here so I don't make a mess. And with a 10mm wrench, I'm going to break this free when the time comes. All right, they're holding pressure, so crack this open. Perfect. Okay, go again.
Hold it.
Okay, they're holding, crack this open. Let the pedal go down. All right, pump again.
Hold it.
Okay. All right. It's looking better. Let's do this one last time. Go ahead and pump.
Hold it.
Okay, crack this open. All right, this is all clean, fresh fluid, no air bubbles. You can let go of the brake pedal now. Use some brake parts cleaner and clean off anything that leaked. And unfortunately, this caliper did not have a little rubber plug for the bleeder screw, but if yours did, go ahead and put it back. Now move over to the left front and do the same steps. Now top off the master cylinder one last time. If you think you need to repeat the process, go ahead and bleed again in the same sequence until you're happy with how the brake pedal feels and you have no air in the system. Once you're done, put the wheels on. The front wheels get torqued to 135 foot-pounds and the rears get torqued to 150 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.